Hey guys, what's up? Roshi is here. Today we're taking a look at the new promo card. It's Quicksilver Gateway. When a player draws an additional card, transform it into a random card. Pretty goofy. I'm pretty sure the second half of this text will just never see play. But I guess, well, maybe it's not too bad because you can always... You're still getting the effect regardless, but if you ever need to, you can pay 4 to, like... draw a card, and it doesn't really matter who has it. Maybe it's even safer on your opponent. But that aside, you can get up to some pretty fun shenanigans. So I'm just going to dive. I'm not going to have any like set and solid deck lists. I think the one they give you is good value, but also probably not the most competitive. So what I'll show you could be a potential other option. Just for a starting point for a Quicksilver Gateway deck that looks to just make a bunch of random cards and try and win with them. So for that, any card that has like Entomb, basically the keyword you're looking for here is create. Any card that says create or draw on it is going to be kind of your bread and butter. So we've got stuff like Spicy Grenadin, Jeering Yeti creating power bursts, Sindane makes power bursts, Oni Insider can create the Warhelm, which in this case would just get turned into a random card. Javon, you can pay 4 to draw cards. Maybe not the most synergy, but works. Sindane kind of double dips. He'll enter and give you a random card, and then if you ever attack with him, that's a random card every turn. Rebel Illuminator, if it dies, you're more than happy to get a torch off of this, and if you get a random card instead of a torch, that's probably good later on too, so pretty neat. Sieve just gets an honorable mention along with like Talk and other revenge cards, because whenever they flip back around with revenge, you'll actually draw additional card which will become random. I'm not sure you'd actually want it in this style of deck, but it's an option. Evelina, instead of getting a 5/5 dinosaur, you'd get a a random card, which would debatably probably be worse than the 5/5 dinosaur, but I just wanted to include this as it's a inscribed method of generating random cards. I also don't think you would go this hard on the random generation. You probably don't need to, but it's fun to just push it as far as you can and then, dial it back and tune it from there. Hellfire Valkyrie, every time you attack you can get a random card, which is cool, but you'll have to discard it. Same with Wyatt, you'll still have to discard the card you draw, but it's random and, fun. Mystic Ascendant's probably pretty good. If you're able to trigger him multiple times, you're just getting a random card every turn, and if he doesn't die, you're sitting pretty. Rampa Single Swing draws cards, so that's one way of doing it. So you can go bigger with these like big boys, but I'm not sure if that's necessary. Godin's Mark gets an honorable mention as it'll actually create 2 random cards, and you can just really easily like play Quicksilver Gateway and then like Godin's Mark something and then Torch, and then that's 2 random cards in your hand, which is neat. And then stuff like Blueprints, I'm pretty sure the way this would work is instead of getting a sigil, you'll just get a random card off of this, and you'll get your heirloom, which could then create the opportunity of getting 3 random cards instead of drawing 3. Debatably, in some of these scenarios, you'd almost rather draw 3 cards from your deck, but hey, it's kind of fun to have some randomness sometimes. Far From Home, you can exhaust like 3 of your units and just create and draw 3 treasure troves, which would become 3 random cards. Actually makes this card very efficient along with Godin's Mark for triggering this gateway, so that's why I included those. Sindane's also very efficient, often creating 2 cards or even more. So that's just kind of the idea. You're looking for cards that are like good on their own and also fun with Quicksilver Gateway in play. Whether or not this kind of deck would be viable is something else entirely. Another fun thing is if your opponent's drawing cards, they're going to be drawing random cards too. So if they're hitting you with plunks, it's not just like cards from their deck, they're gonna get like some random thing. Very memey card. I don't know how competitive it is, but you can certainly push it pretty far, like here, and get some entertaining results. That aside, you do have to take your entire turn off to do it. For Throne, I took a look at some Sky Crag ideas. This was mainly just because in Throne there's more like powerful options. Like you could use Crafty Occultist, and that's going to draw you 2 cards, which will give you 2 random things. Crow will give you 2 random things just if you attack with it. So you could play Crow, and then next turn untap and play Gateway, and if you're able to double attack here, that's just 2 random spells, which is cool. And then it'll keep giving you spells if they don't kill it. Drawl should just give you a random thing when you attack. I'm not sure how Drawl will actually work with this. Potentially you'll have to discard the spell. Either discard the card if it doesn't turn into a random spell. But not actually clear how that works. But that would be something for testing. Oni Insider showing up once again, just kind of an efficient option. Being able to kill attachments and create a random card at will is convenient. Jek is pretty solid. You can kill their units, and then if you hit their face, you'll get a random card instead of a treasure, which is an upgrade. Torque, instead of coming down and making a snowball, will just give you a random card, which is cool. And then honorable mentions go out to Fate cards, which will just immediately give you a random card with no investment. And then Echo cards will do the same thing. And so that's why I went Skycrag, just because you have a lot of good Echo and Fate cards that you can mess around with. And then you can second sight them and do it again. But yeah, that's the general idea. Strategize works well with it, very efficient. Second Sight, Wisdom of Elders, all pretty decent ways, like any draw spell. And then honorable mention goes out to Emblems and Granite Waystone as just lands that will give you random cards. So yeah, pretty neat. Market access will give you a random card once Gateway is in play, but you could fill your market with stuff, and that'll kind of just be a placeholder of good things. But once this Gateway's in play, you really won't be able to access your market anymore unless you used Broker. So just something to keep in mind. Maybe I'll be tuning these decks on stream just to mess around with, but for now this is just some ideas to kick around with the promo. Like I said, I'm not sure how competitive it is, especially for Throne, but we can probably have some fun with it in Expedition, so we'll see what we can do with that. As for the bundle, let's just go ahead and take a look at that real quick. I looked at it earlier. It just seems like a seems like a very basic like Elysian list. Potentially wouldn't be too bad, but just like not a lot of very efficient things going on here, in my opinion. I like that they're using some of the things I talk about, though. Like you can use blueprints, you could use Amber Acolyte, like any sort of land draw is just going to give you a random card. Amber Lock works, but it's not really the most efficient draw spell. Then they've got some other stuff like Pathfinder and like Freight Assery that just makes me ask like what these cards are doing here. I would rather play like Eileen's Favor if I wanted Aegis, but kinda up to you. So yeah, deck's pretty neat. I'm definitely going to buy the bundle just so that I can have the premium random cards, which is fun. But I don't think it's, you know, if you're a new player with no cards, unless you plan on playing Elysian, I'm not really sure it's good value for you. But yeah, that's all. Promo looks fun. It's nice to have a fun promo for once and not one that's like plunk that just breaks the entire format. So kudos to them for not breaking the format, I guess. If you're not in my Discord, you should go ahead and hop in that. The link's down below. And if you could subscribe and like and comment on this video, it helps me a lot. Also, just check me out on Twitch if you haven't already. And appreciate you guys for watching, and hopefully we'll get some games going with those decks and the new cards soon. Thanks, guys.